Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about my hopes and expectations for the new reinforcements, which of course are the ARC Trooper and the BX Commando Droid. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over their abilities and give you guys kind of my feedback and what I thought now that I've had time to read over the community transmission again and get a little bit more detail. Obviously when the news first comes out, we just want to get that out to you guys, so we don't always process everything in terms of when we're making videos. So now I want to sit down and really go over my thoughts of it. So we're going to start off with the ARC Trooper, and the biggest thing that stands out to me with the ARC Trooper is the dual wielding DC-17 pistols. Now anyone that knows and has watched the Clone Wars, this is going to look amazing in the game. I can't wait to see how it works, and basically what I think it's going to be is it's going to be the same as having one, except you're not going to be able to zoom in. So instead of having zoom, you're able to fire the secondary DC-17 pistol, and you're just going to have to go off basic aim or hip firing essentially and try and work it out that way. Now this is probably going to be a little bit more difficult for those of you that play on console. You know, aim assist is obviously a thing, and that does help when firing off when zoomed in. So this time you're going to have to use that skill and actually aim for yourself. It's going to be similar to how you play with Boba Fett when you have to actually aim his blaster instead of just relying on aim assist. So you guys are going to have to get good and get some practice in with these dual wielding pistols. I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm interested to see how quickly you can take down enemies using two blasters. That's going to be a really interesting dynamic, and I can't wait to test it out on Tuesday. Getting into the ARC Trooper's abilities though, the first one is Power Blast, which is obviously a charged shot from one of the DC-17 pistols. This is basically going to be your long range weapon. This is what you're going to do if you're at a bit further range. The DC-17s aren't going to have huge damage at long range, and especially when it's going to be more difficult to aim without the aim assist, this is going to be something that you will rely on for those further shots. So this is essentially a charged shot for your blaster. The second ability is going to be the Helmet Scanner, which works pretty similarly to the Scan Pulse from Battlefront 2015. Anyone that knows that middle star card that you used back then, it pretty much revealed enemies through walls or in the vicinity in a red outline. So this is going to show you where the enemy team is, and it's going to give you a really good indication of where you want to head and where you want to be ready to shoot. So this is a good ability. I think it's going to be really well balanced. I don't think the wall hacking or anything is going to be too bad. It's not going to be a huge advantage, especially going up against the BX Commando Droid who has a similar ability. So I think this is a good, well-rounded ability. Now the third ability is one that I potentially have some concern about. It's called the Shock Trap. And basically this is kind of like Lando's Disabler, where it's going to stun enemies, but instead of just stunning them on the spot, it's actually going to knock them to the ground. So in my honest opinion, I really don't think we need anything to do with more shocks or stuns or anything like that, and I'm sure most of you guys agree with me as well, but this one's a little bit different. It actually knocks enemies to the ground. I don't know if that's going to be OP yet. It kind of sounds like it might have the potential to be, but I guess it depends on how long it takes the enemy to get back up. If you're using this against heroes on the enemy team, it's already going to be quite difficult for them to recover from, especially if you can manage to knock them down in front of a group of your teammates where you guys can pretty much just proceed to melt them anyways. So a little bit of concern for that ability, but we're going to have to wait and see how it goes on Tuesday. Getting into the BX Commando Droid now, he is going to be using the modified E5 blaster, which is going to be better suited for higher long range precision, and basically the opposite of what the ARC Trooper is going to be. The ARC Trooper's blasters are really good for close range. The BX Commando Droid is going to be better at long range. Now to combat this being a great long range weapon, the Commando Droid is going to have the Vibro Sword. Now there are two ways of using the Vibro Sword. The first one is going to be via melee, so basically your regular melee attack is going to use the Vibro Sword as well, and then the second way to do it is with the Sinister Strikes ability. This ability allows you to do 3 quick sword strikes in succession before you need a small cooldown, and if you manage to land the third strike, it will knock the enemy to the ground. So again, knocking the enemy to the ground is another one of these abilities for the Infiltrator class, and I think having both of them to have it is probably a little bit better than just letting one of them have it. So this could be interesting. It sounds like something that might actually be able to knock Anakin out of Heroic Might as well, but you're probably going to have to do it pretty quickly if you're going to hit him with all 3 strikes before he gets off that Heroic Might, and if you don't succeed, you're probably going to end up dead anyway. The second ability for the BX Commando Droid is the Smoke Screen. This is going to block out everything, even name tags and outlines, so it's just going to be a hugely dense smoke screen, kind of like what Lando has again with his smoke grenade. So this in combination with the third ability that we're about to talk about in a minute will be really good. The third ability is called Thermal Vision, which basically scans enemies through walls and smoke, and then it also scrambles the enemy scanners. So the fact that it scrambles the enemy scanners is going to be quite useful. That way they can't sort of indicate where you are on the minimap once you throw that smoke out. They're going to have a hard time seeing you. This in combination with with the Sinister Strikes and the Smokescreen are going to be a great set of combinations to use. I can't wait to test it out. I think it's going to be really interesting to see some of those combos in play. The thermal vision is going to help hugely through the Smokescreen, but remember the ARC Troopers do have a scan pulse ability as well with their helmet scanner. So I'm not sure if this is going to work on the smoke. I would assume that it does, but just be wary when you guys are playing it that could possibly happen. So with all of these abilities in conjunction together, I think the BX Commando Droid is the one I'm more excited for over the ARC Trooper, but that's not to say that I'm not excited for the ARC Trooper as well. I definitely am super pumped to test it out. I can't wait to see how the dual wielding pistols go. I can't wait to test out the Vibro sword and see how much damage it does and how quickly you can swing it, because if you can swing that really quickly, that's going to be absolutely lethal on the battlefront. So there are cool things about each reinforcement and each side, and when we get the new large scale game mode on Tuesday, you can be sure that I am going to test these as much as I possibly can. I'm going to be completely ignoring heroes for the first part and just going for these two reinforcements because I really want to get good with them and have some good streaks and gameplay for you guys on stream. That's pretty much everything I have to say about these guys. I am really excited to test them out, as you guys can probably tell from what I've just said. This is going to be awesome on Tuesday. Make sure you guys are all tuned into the stream, and as soon as I know any information about what time the update drops, I will keep you guys updated on when that will be. I hope to see you guys all in the live stream on Tuesday, and that's going to do it for this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, smash that thumbs up button. Let's see if we can get to 300 likes on this video. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more Battlefront 2 content in the future. I am going to get out of here, guys. Thank you again so much for watching. I am the Twisted Jedi, and may the Force be with you always.